if your circadian rhythm is not dialed in, that is one of the main sources of chronically elevated cortisol. Chronically elevated cortisol can interfere with your fat loss goals and can be one of the factors that blocks any further fat loss. Because what ends up happening is, firstly, cortisol changes fat distribution, right? It's not just the calories burned. So like cortisol's job is to protect fuel availability. Like when it's chronically elevated, either like from long dieting, from poor sleep, from stimulant use, overtraining, emotional stress, whatever it is, it's going to raise gluconeogenesis. So basically, that's the process of making glucose from amino acids. And once you raise gluconeogenesis, you're essentially cannibalizing muscle protein for fuel, right? And the second thing is you're going to increase something called lipoprotein lipase activity. So the activity of that enzyme occurs specifically in visceral and abdominal fat, and it makes those cells more likely to store fat, right? Even while the rest of your body is catabolizing tissue, it's gonna still make those cells more likely to store fat. It's crazy. Essentially how it works is lipoprotein lipase activity gets shifted away from the muscles to visceral and abdominal fat. So lipoprotein lipase, LPL for short, essentially breaks down triglycerides into free fatty acids, which then are allowed to enter the cells, whether it's muscle or fat cells. That's what that enzyme does. It sits outside the cells, breaks down the triglycerides so the free fatty acids can enter the cells, and then they get re-esterified into triglycerides within the actual cell. So if it's shifted away from muscle tissue to fat tissue, higher enzyme activity means more free fatty acids go into the actual visceral and abdominal fat cells and then get re-esterified into triglycerides, so you get more fat stored in those cells. That's how it essentially works. The other thing I wanted to talk about is how cortisol actually blunts leptin.